G'day everyone, so welcome to this week's video, and once again I am shooting at the island. This island is located inside of Pittwater in New South Wales. It's a beautiful spot. I've uploaded 2 videos here before, and this is day 2 of me being here. Today I have maybe 4 or 5 compositions in mind to shoot for this video, and conditions today: overcast, very cloudy and quite bright. It's currently midday, 12 o'clock. I don't usually shoot at this time because, well, it's harsh light, stuff like that, but you know, at the moment it's not too bad because we've got full cloud cover. It diffuses all the sunlight, so it works well. So actually the first subject that I wanted to shoot is this really nice tree. It's in the middle of the water, it's high tide right now. I was photographing here just yesterday at about 2 o'clock and all these rocks were uncovered. It was low tide, so we had a perfect shot. I've noticed this lone tree with water all around it, and it makes for such like a minimalist composition, and I think that will be really nice. So I'm going to grab my camera and try and frame up a shot, and if I'm not close enough, because I've only got my 24-70 with me today, then I will walk across the rocks in the water to get to the tree. So for this shot I kind of want to fill the frame with just the tree and not really anything else, but I'm too far away to do that from here, so I may walk across the rocks. But this is also quite a nice composition, so I might actually shoot this and then move across the rocks. The tide's changing quite dramatically, but there's high rocks all the way across, so I'll be able to traverse them, just hopefully not roll my ankle. I'm gonna get my tripod out and my ND filter and my polarizer on. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that I don't entirely like working on such a thin platform. It's hard to film. I've got you guys on a tripod and it's quite big. I've got this set up very precariously, mind you. I've got about an inch of platform behind me right now. I am gonna do my best to describe my composition because I'm not sure actually how well I can show you my composition since I don't have that much space. My composition basically has the tree in the middle of the image. So it's basically in the middle of the second, third part of the image. In one way or another, I've got the rocks leading the eye out to the tree. A bit glary, but you can see what I mean. The tree is in the middle of the second, third, so 1, 2, and we've got these rocks on the side here, and then we've got the trees and the island behind it, and then of course a bit of the sky. Now I am a bit worried about the trees here because I am doing a long exposure, so it's going to be blurred, which can be distracting. I might try and disclude that. I'm not sure that I'm going to use this image. I mean, I'll give it a shot and see how it looks, but actually it's not windy at all today, so they might be alright. So I'm going to triple check my focus, which looks all good, and now I'm going to chuck on my 10-stop and polarizer. It's important to make sure that you don't knock the focus when you're putting on your filters. I've done it many times, and sometimes I don't realise until the filters are on, and then I have to take them off again and redo it all By then, conditions might have disappeared. The light might have dissipated and you missed it. All because you knocked your focus. I'm going to chuck on my CPL, and this will just make it so that it removes the glare out of the water, because it is quite glary. There's a lot of light reflecting on the water, and also it's very bright in the sky today as well, so this will just help even out the image. So I'm going to go 20 seconds F8 2-second timer. So when looking at this photo in post, I realised that I didn't like it very much. The exposure in the sky is clipping, the composition is quite boring, and the photo just overall isn't very interesting. I wanted to include this photo in the video to show that not all photos come out well. I actually find most of mine don't come out the way I'm hoping. So I'm just making my way closer to the tree, and I am carrying quite a few things. Now, my recording camera is waterproof, but my photo camera is not waterproof. So I've made it. Oh, there are so many barnacles everywhere. I fell over once, but none of my gear went in. It hurt a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do before going in, taking my tripod in with the filters attached to it, I'm going to just take my camera in, try and compose the shot. Yeah, so it does look like I'm going to have to go into the water, which, I mean, it's not terrible. I'm just worried that a boat's going to speed by and create waves, and, you know, those waves are going to hit my camera. But hopefully I don't have to go too far in. So I think it's safe to say I found a really nice composition. So I'm gonna get my tripod out there and set up. I don't like taking my gear into salt water because of course it's corrosive, but I guess I'll get when I get home I'll give it a good clean. So putting your gear at risk and yourself at risk is very much part of landscape photography. I found my composition. There is no identification that I am anywhere near shore other than the waves lapping up, but of course with the 10 stop ND those waves are going to be blurred and you're not going to be able to see them. The frame is pretty much we've got the first third is water, second third is the tree, third is the sky and the island. I am a bit worried about, yeah, I could do with getting it a bit higher, because there's not as much separation as there would be if it was a little bit higher. Now I wish I brought my bigger tripod. One thing I am a little bit worried about with this image is we've got these constant waves lapping up against the tripod. So what that's gonna do is it's gonna create movement in the tripod. And this is a really light one. It is carbon fiber. It's a very good tripod, but I'm not sure how good it's gonna be at fighting these, these waves. So I've actually moved forward a bit because I did notice this rock in front of me here creeping into the frame. And actually, it was a really nice image. It was a bit off-center though, and I wanted to film more of the frame with the tree. And I think from this angle, it's creating a bit more separation than I had back there. It's hard to see in this light. It's hard to see my screen. So I'm just going by autofocus and it works pretty well. I mean, there's nothing else in the scene for it to focus on, so this here is my composition. I've got the tree pretty much touching the edge of the scene, but not touching the edge because I don't want the eye wandering outside of the image. And I've got the tree in the middle. This should work pretty nicely as a long exposure. The last image worked pretty well too, but it wasn't centered and there wasn't as much separation from the tree to the island. And because the tree is the same color as the island, it's hard to get that separation. I have seen a couple more compositions while I've been here. One of them is this green pylon, and then there is also another tree just like this one just further on, but I don't think it's as interesting as this tree, so I might give that one a miss. But I'm gonna probably compose this green boat pylon. So my aim for this one is to create a really minimalist scene. Create quite an intense kind of atmosphere throughout the image, and the bright green is gonna really pop against all the really dark sky, the really grey sky and the grey water. So we've got the green pylon dead center in the middle, then we've got the water here and the sky here. It's got a really nice sense of symmetry in the image. Just trying to line it up with the lines on my screen. And I'm at 20 seconds f8 ISO 100, pretty much the same settings I've been using all day. And that's some f8's really good because it is the sharpest aperture on my camera. 2-second timer. I found this nice composition. I've noticed this stick and it's framed really nicely between a rock and the cliff. It would look really nice as a long exposure. So we've got this stick in the center of the image and we've got this cliff here and this rock. just framing the stick in the middle. I think this will look really nice, and there's really nice contrast between the browns and the greens as well, and then of course the overcast sky. I've got my 10 stop and my polarizer on it. So I've gotten down really low. I actually found this composition while filming some B-roll. I've got a really nice composition of the rocks and the tree that I was shooting earlier. It's a big scene, so I'm gonna have to do a focus stack for this one. Thing is, we've got this waves coming in all the time. Oh, that's a big one. There's a wave coming. So I'm gonna start by focusing on the tree, which is infinity, and then I'm going to focus on the foreground closer to the lens. I'm going to try and get this done quickly so that another boat doesn't come, because once I start the focus stack I can't move it. I'm not going to show you my composition on the back of my camera because I just don't have the time. Yeah, so on the left side of the screen I have the rocks, and then I've got these waves coming in, so these will all be blurred, which will be a really nice effect. So I'm really happy with how those images look. Of course I haven't seen them on the computer yet, but as far as I can see, they look nice. So I'm gonna head back to the jetty and shoot a couple of compositions there. So finally made it back to solid ground. Oh, feels good. My feet are so sore from those barnacles. Yeah, no, I'm glad I did that because I got some really nice photos as far as I can see from the back of the camera. So I know that this video has dragged on quite a bit, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this video up in two again. So stay tuned for next week where I will photograph two more compositions. One of the windmill and another one that I've got planned. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, seeing me go through pain for photography. I mean, that's all too common these days, I think. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.